Boss, come meet with me. You came. Go for them, not me. You came. This base belongs to you now. Make Diamond Dogs the force it deserves to be. Like any organization, we need good people, and we need to make good use of their talents. Miller asked me to lay that out for you. To start bringing people in, use this. It's a Fulton recovery device. When you're in the field, use it to extract any soldiers or prisoners you want back here. And we'll see if we can't persuade them to join the ranks of Diamond Dogs. Go on. Test it out on the staff here. Anyone you want. First, put them to sleep. You have a tranquilizer gun, don't you?
I'm ready, boss.
That's one way of doing it. Now extract it. Good.
Extraction
complete.
Arrived at Mother
You can only
Base.
bolt and recover someone if they're not resisting it. No dead bodies either. They don't make great recruits. The staff member you just extracted will be assigned to the team best suited to his abilities. See for yourself. Open your iDroid. Select Staff Management from the Mother Base menu. So that staff member was placed on the R&D team. The R&D team is in charge of developing all kinds of weapons and items that'll support you on missions. Take a look at the development list. Select Weapons Items under the Development heading. What's wrong? Select Weapons Items under the Development heading.
Please specify
That's the R&D
project.
team's development list. See the item called Cardboard Box? Didn't seem much use to me, but Miller was adamant that you'd want it on the list. The last word in infiltration technology, or so he said. In any case, we don't have the manpower to develop it just yet. We need more staff on the team. Go extract a few more people. Boss, put the iDroid away for a moment. You can also Fulton extract individuals you've knocked out. Why don't you try knocking someone out with CQC next? Show them how it's done, boss. This isn't the time.
Let's do this,
2 equals 5. 2 plus 2 equals 5. Try throwing them. It's the best way to knock someone out instantly. I suppose that works too.
Extraction
complete.
arrived at Mother Base.
One thing I should mention, a Fulton extraction won't always be successful. If the person is injured, the shock of it could kill them. And if the weather's unfavorable, well, they could end up going missing. You can determine the chance of success by approaching the person you want to extract. If you want to be sure you can get them out, best carry them to the chopper instead. All right, extract the next staff member.
Вероятность успешной эвакуации с помощью системы Плану сильно зависит от погоды. Чтобы обеспечить безопасность эвакуируемого, старайтесь пользоваться системой только при ясном небе и ни в коем случае не используйте ее во время дождя или песчаной бури. Впрочем, вы можете увеличить шансы на эвакуацию в плохую погоду, повысив уровень отряда поддержки.
It's an honor, boss.
Extract it. Use any method you like. Start by knocking him out, or you can put him to sleep.
It's an honor, boss.
Extraction arrived at Mother Base.
Thank you.
Unit function added.
Open your eye
Development
door.
project has been added.
Select weapons items under the
Please specify
Now select
project.
cardboard box.
Extraction
Start development.
arrived at
Be
Mother
aware
Base.
that the development has finished.
Please select
You can have the
supplies
support
requested.
unit supply you with weapons and items you've
Supply
developed.
drop
Think of it
complete.
as your own personal delivery service. And there it is. Not sure what it's good for, but Miller said you know what to do. Try it out. One last thing. The staff members you extracted were all placed on the R&D team, but that was Miller's decision. If you think they belong somewhere else, you're free to move them around. Well, that about does
Mission
it.
info
You won't make
has
any
been
GMP
updated.
or find recruits hanging around here. Board the chopper when you're ready for a mission. Open your iDroid and select a landing zone to tell it where to pick you up. Or if you're still in the mood for knocking guys on their asses, you can stay around here a while. Give the men some practice. Just come pay me a visit.
Да. Дашка, дешка. Ага, ну правильно, так не очень. Ладно, ну, да,
Please specify a project.
This is B-Quad. Arriving shortly at LZ.
Boss, let's practice your CQC. Begin by grabbing.
This is B-Quad. On station at LZ. Fully punched.
Doesn't like you, Snake. Try it one more time. Once you grab someone, you're free to do as you like. Interrogate him, knock him out, kill him. Scratch that last one for me. Go ahead and knock him out. Good. Extract the staff member.
Extraction arrived at Mother Base.
Get another try.
Let's do this. Oh, thank you, boss.
Go on and extract it. Starting
Extraction
to feel like yourself
arrived
again?
at Mother
The
Base.
rest will fall into place with some time in the field. Board the chopper when you're ready.
Gaining altitude.
Extraction arrived at Mother Base.
Ну, не то, что я, а Снейк.
Development project has been added.
Бурвок, ЮНРС, Реконколог, фига, все долбленных. С4, луз пустынный, ВП масс костюм и динамик. Динамик, я понял, это... Ого, две штуки забрали. Интересно, слушать эти инструктажи, пилота, есть толк от них или нет? Ну, как я знаю, в предыдущих сериях Metal Gear там большинство сути самой игры распространялось через кассеты.
Mission list updated.
Boss, I know you haven't been back long, but I prepared a list of missions for you. Open your iDroid.
Please select a mission.
I've taken the job offers Diamond Dogs has received and made a list of those I want you to consider. Which ones you accept is your call. The objectives of the missions I've added are prisoner rescue, facility sabotage, and high-value target elimination. Probably all a walk in the park for you, but they should help you get back on your feet. I put the mission details on a cassette tape. Refer to it if you decide to accept the mission. We'll receive GMP for completing missions, and extracting soldiers and prisoners will boost our ranks. Building up Mother Base is the first step to achieving our goal. If that means wet work, so be it. We're gonna have to get our hands dirty. I hope you're rested up, because we're not stopping. Not until the pain is gone. The future of Diamond Dogs is in your hands. We're counting on you, boss.
Героя, пожалуйста. Главное, чтобы
Farming villages in southern Vahan have been subjected to a strategic bombing campaign the past several weeks. The damage is spreading. It's part of the Soviet Scorched Earth operation aimed at wiping out the guerrillas. The target this time is the commander of the Spetsnaz detachment. He's been key to the operation's success. People say this guy...
Давайте с утра начнем.
Deploying.
Утром мудренее. Кто рано встает, тому Бог подает. Хотя я, в принципе, атеист. Ну да ладно.
Your target is a Spetsnaz detachment commander. Your orders are to take him out. With skills like his, it'd be a shame to waste him. But I'll leave the method up to you. Boss, make your way to Deshago Calais and eliminate the target.
Marker placed. Please specify a project. The map has been updated.
Be careful down there, boss.
compounds from plants to make medicine or poison for use in new weapons and equipment. Take a look at the plants list on your iDroid to see which ones we need. Then go find them if you get the chance. It'll keep the staff happy too.
Extraction arrived at Mother Base.
Whoa! Whoa!
Post captured.
Black carrot. Something of an ancestor to the domestic carrot. It's also a favorite of wild animals.
You have arrived at your destination.
Those materials have already been processed. It may not be much, but we can use them straight away if you bring them back to base.
Давайте, пожалуй, послушаем, район транспортной базы.
You were hospitalized in Dekelia, a British sovereign base area on Cyprus. It's part of British overseas territory that falls outside of Cypriot jurisdiction. You got moved from Cuba's Little America right into Cyprus's Little Britain. Why Dekelia? The UK and the US remain close allies. The last place Cypher would think to look for you is inside their own system. That's what kept you safe in British military hospital for 9 years. The safest place from a whale is inside its own belly. You were a regular Geppetto. Well, it wasn't Pinocchio who led me out to safety. So who was that guy? Cypher went so far as to attack British territory, burning their own ally. That's how badly they wanted you dead. He said I was in a British military hospital, but the doctor had a Greek accent. They hire locally. Easier to trust them. Dekelia is also home to Greek Cypriots, after all. What about the Turks? They haven't returned to the south. Not yet. The Cyprus dispute is still a long way from resolved. The country is just as split as it was in '74. Turkish Cypriots in the north, Greek Cypriots in the south. Between them, the Green Line, the UN established. And Dekelia sits right on top of it. It does. Part of the buffer zone between the two groups. Another reason it was the perfect place to hide you.
Easy to spot any outsiders snooping around.
So how do things stand?
Last year, the Turks declared that the Turkish Republic of Northern Cyprus is an independent state, though it's only Turkey that recognizes it. In the past, the Greeks and Turks lived side by side in the same villages. There are reasons to fight. Those came from the outside. Greece, Turkey, Britain, America, they all had their own stake in pitting the two sides against each other. But once you spark something like this, it's impossible to control. Both sides build up grudges like debt, without the foresight to see that each act of revenge just fans the flames, and then it's too late for other nations to rush in with peace talks. The embers keep on smoldering. Each nation's arrogance only breeds anarchy. The world is paralyzed by this hunger for revenge. Cyprus is no different.
You've arrived at the objective. Your target should be somewhere in that outpost. And don't forget, he has a Spetsnaz recon detail with him. Keep your guard up.
You're up.
We're changing ships?
We can't go sailing the Suez in a whaler.
The Suez Canal. When did they reopen it?
Not long after you were attacked. Once they finished sweeping it for mines after the Arab-Israeli conflict.
There. That's the target.
We're going to transfer to a container ship for passage through the Suez. Our destination is Pakistan, Afghanistan's neighbor to the south. There, we disembark and head via Peshawar to the Zero Line, the border. We'll travel to the Khyber Pass by road.
And then?
We continue on horseback. Afghanistan's main roads are under Soviet control. We'll need to go around them. It'll be all narrow, winding paths through the mountains. We'll do better on horseback. It's a local guerrilla tactic. They use the higher ridges to avoid air recons, then they charge down the mountains for ambushes. The Soviets still haven't devised a counter. Our time frame is only half as much as we really need. It'll be a tough march.
Better horses than boats.
Well, it'll make for good physiotherapy. Take the time to get used to that new arm.
While the Soviets have indicated they are not participating in the Los Angeles Olympics, primarily because the United States has made no attempt to guarantee the safety of the Soviet Union's athletes, the United States is increasingly demonstrating the belief that the issue has nothing to do with its preparations, and in fact this is retaliation for the Western nations' boycott of the previous Moscow Olympics. That concludes today's news.
That's quite some news.
The Soviet Union not attending the LA Olympics? Yeah. Andropov's death has changed some things.
Subject on board. Leave the rest to us.
Boycott of the Moscow Olympics.
Countries boycotted the Moscow Olympics.
Yes. In protest of the Soviet Union's invasion of Afghanistan. Over 50 countries were absent. It's too bad I didn't get to see Yamashita's judo. When the 40th Army crossed the Amu River 4 years ago, détente went right out the window. The U.S. Congress chose not to ratify SALT II, and Reagan's hardline politics won in the presidency in a landslide. According to him, the Soviet Union's an evil empire.
The Second Cold War.
And there's been no end to regional conflicts and civil wars. Lebanon, the Falklands, Grenada, Iran, Iraq. The story never changes. Egypt and Israel did sign a peace treaty. But then the driving force on the Egyptian side, President Sadat, was assassinated afterward. Apparently his actions were considered a betrayal of his fellow Arabs.
Islamic extremists.
Yes, fundamentalist extremists have been responsible for some bold acts of terrorism in recent years. We've had extremist students in Iran take U.S. embassy workers hostage, and suicide bombings in Lebanon. Over 300 foreign soldiers stationed there have been killed. The countries have yet to develop an effective means of dealing with terrorism. Afraid of losing their own men, they've pulled their forces out, handing private forces a golden opportunity.
Private forces.
Small armies with no national affiliation, working for the highest bidder. That's right, they got the idea from you. After Mother Base went down, they began spreading to meet the soaring demand. Miller's organization is just one of many PFs now. The entire world is after you. But at the same time, it needs you too. Miller told me in the Caribbean 9 years ago. You do remember Miller.
You'd formed a private army with him. An army with no allegiance to a nation. I remember, but I see. You're not sure what's fact and what's a...
Boss, I gotta say it would be a waste to kill him. But putting him to sleep doesn't count as eliminating him. Neither does knocking him out.
I've gone easy on you up until now. But this is where the hard stuff begins. 1974, the year before you entered your coma. You were in Colombia, operating with a small unit of men. Basically mercenaries. Miller was among them. Miller was trying to find a way to turn his and your talents into a line of work. He was looking
to extract him.
Target secured. I'll tell the client we sent the target to a place outside of Hammond.
Boss, your objective's complete. Exfiltrate out of the hot zone by chopper or on land. Don't hang around.
You had a shot at pulling it off. You accepted it and headed into Costa Rica. The client even threw in an offshore facility in the Caribbean. The mother base, that would be your new base of operations. Miller sure did have a head for business. As your mission went on, your unit grew and grew. More weapons, more money. Before you knew it, you were commanding 100 men. As the organization got bigger, your military powers swelled to match. It got so the international community couldn't afford to ignore you. You were just too damn successful for your own good. You, your men, had worn out your welcome. Everyone was out for you. East, West, First World, Third. It was only a matter of time before someone took you down. And that was XOF. Officially, they're an anti-terror unit under the CIA. In reality, they're Cypher's private strike force. They lured you to Cuba using Chico, the Nicaraguan revolutionary kid, and Paz, a mole who worked for Cypher as bait. While you were gone, XOF, posing as a nuclear inspection team, stormed Mother Base. At the same time, C4 they placed on the strut legs went off. The whole thing went down in minutes. XOF. Kisses and hugs followed by a big F you. All because of Miller's blind spot. A back door into Mother Base no one suspected. You remember a certain...
Looks like the enemy's lost sight of you. They're gonna try to hunt you down.
Giving the enemy a perfect opportunity to hit you at home. You were returning from Cuba when it happened. Mother Base came damn close to taking you with it into the Caribbean. Those of your men out on assignment returned right away. They refused to believe the wreckage in the water they found was Mother Base. But they checked the coordinates again and again, until reality finally settled in. You were supposed to...
Extraction arrived at Mother Base. Development projects have been added.
Вот, можно хотя бы уже след получить. Хотя, в принципе, как я знаю, там
Mission complete, boss.
Да, я бэшку получил. Блин, если бы этот был Вася не увидел меня, в принципе, было бы намного удобнее. Но, да ладно. Так, на главной базе. Так.
How you feeling, boss? Getting used to being in the field again? Having choppers and horse at your disposal is indispensable for operating in the wilds of Afghanistan. I've gone ahead and arranged for you to be able to develop and customize weaponry for support choppers. And you can also develop new equipment for D-Horse if you like. Use your iDroid to start development as needed.
О, а ну-ка, давай.
Remember the guys you brought back from the base in Cuba 9 years ago? Believe it or not, some of them survived that hell we went through. Word reached them that Big Boss is back and they wanted in. They're good men, our brothers in fate. They'll be glad to know you've seen them here.
Один из создателей этой игры, он уволился из той компании, которая создавала эту игру, и ему типа сделали то ли... Это, вот этот персонаж, это извинение Кодзимы, типа, за то, что его уволили. Ну, как я знаю, он назад не вернулся. Довольно интересно, кстати. Вот это, кстати, для начала хорош. Он, у него, конечно, он в боевой отряд не пойдет, у него цашка всего лишь, но, в принципе, у меня сейчас боевого отряда нету. Инженерного у него А+, Ну и так далее, в принципе. Довольно хороший персонаж. Мне его нравится. Так, Gold Fox. Вот это, как я понял, типа какая-то то ли команда разработки, то ли еще что-то. Они типа себя всунули. Так это доброволец. А где пацаны, которых я эвакуировал? Мне вот интересно, как, вот этого, короче, типа. Так это особый доброволец, интересно. Элитный солдат. О! Хорош! А плюс, ну он, блин, в принципе, для... Ну ладно, зачем ты мне? Сейчас ты мне не нужен. Ну ладно. Хорош. Дашка, хирург. Ну ты мне все равно по-прежнему нахер не нужен. Опять, тип не нужен мне. Вот этот тоже мне не нужен. Ладно, пойдет и так. Только что мне и не инженеров, не поддержки.
Side ops list
By
updated.
connecting your iDroid to the onboard computer, you turn the chopper into your own Aerial Command Center, or ACC. Some elements of staff assignment and R&D of weapons and items can only be performed from there. Take as long as you need to consider all your options.
Да, бывает, километры. Ладненько, ну все. Да, следующий